evening to all the virtual attendees of this forum. I would like to thank the Philippine Pediatric Society Incorporated Southern Tagalog chapter for inviting me to this very important and very timely event as we celebrate this year's Nutrition Month. The topic of this presentation will be as follows. First, I will share with you the situation on the nutritional status of Filipino children before the pandemic. Second, I will be highlighting the differences between the data from the current pandemic situation and those from the pre-pandemic data. Even before the pandemic happened, child malnutrition is already a public health and nutrition problem in the Philippines. Now, for preschool children, in 2018 to 2019, expanded National Nutrition Survey results of the DOST Food and Nutrition Research Institute, stunting prevalence decreased from 33.4% in 2015 to 29.6% in 2018 to 2019, but remains as medium to high public health problem. Infants from 24 to 35 months old had the highest prevalence of stunting at 34.8% and is considered as a high level of public health significance. Wasting prevalence is within the poor level of public health significance at 5.7%, while overweight and obesity indicated a slow improvement with slightly decreased prevalence. And underweight is at medium severity based on global cutoff for public health significance. Trends have shown that severe prevalence of anemia among 6 months to less than 1 year of age can be observed throughout the years 1993 to 2019, as shown in this slide, while anemia among 1 to 5 years old are considered as a mild public health problem. Undernutrition is prevalent among those residing in rural areas and belonging to the poor and poorest households. Now, for school-age children, prevalence of various forms of malnutrition are still at significant levels of public health problems. The stunting prevalence of 25.5% is at a medium level of public health significance, while the wasting prevalence of 7.8% is at a poor level of public health significance. Actually, a slight increase was observed from 2015 to 2018 to 2019 for overweight and obesity. Anemia among 6 to 12 years old is also considered a mild public health problem. Undernutrition remains evident among children in the rural areas and among households in the poorest and poor wealth classifications. Now, during the pandemic, the Food and Nutrition Research Institute, or FNRI, conducted a rapid nutrition assessment survey, or what we call the RNAS, as a response to combat COVID-19. The rapid nutrition assessment aimed to determine one, food security status among households, including household dietary diversity, food access, food resources, as well as coping up mechanisms and strategies during community quarantine. Second, participation of children and pregnant women on micronutrient supplementation, supplementary or dietary supplementation program, nutrition counseling, and related support services such as growth monitoring, deworming, and among others during the COVID-19 pandemic. Third, participation of households in food production, food assistance, social amelioration program, among others. And fourth, infant and young child feeding practices among families with children 0 to 23 months old. Since RNAS did not include data on the prevalence of malnutrition among children during the pandemic, we will not be able to highlight the differences between the data from current pandemic situation and those from the pre-pandemic data. Thus, I will just share with you some of the major findings of the report. The RNAS did not cover an actual anthropometric measurement or nutrition assessment. The only related information recorded on this is the perception of mothers regarding the stunting condition of their children. It was revealed that 1 out of 5, or 19.7% of the surveyed mothers belonging to food insecure households perceived their children to be stunted, most of which are from the severely food insecure households. Impact of food insecurity was highest in households with children at 74.7% and with pregnant members at 80.8% than in households without such members. The pandemic resulted to the decreased participation of children 0 to 12 years old for nutrition-specific programs such as OPD Plus or Operation Timbang Plus, supplementary feeding, vitamin A supplementation, and deworming. Now, the reasons for their non-participation to Operation Timbang Plus were because the BNS or the barangay nutrition scholars or barangay health workers were unable to visit the households, or these families were not able to visit the health center due to lockdown. Majority of the children in the different areas did not receive supplementary feeding. Also, 10.6% of children 6 to 60 months old received micronutrient powder. Most of the mothers perceived stunting as a genetic condition, and this was recognized as common among Filipinos. This misperception needs to be continuously addressed, especially among our health workers and implementers. Now, 2 in every 10 children under 6 years old reported to have lost weight, most of which are from the medium risk areas. Higher proportion of weight loss among children belonging to severely food insecure households were also observed. 19% of children 0 to 12 months old had stopped breastfeeding during the COVID-19 pandemic due to the following. 1, the mother decided not to breastfeed. 2nd, the child did not want to be breastfed. And 3rd, the mother returned to work or the mother wasn't able to go home. A high percentage of young children met the minimum meal frequency at 93.3%. This is the proxy indicator for energy adequacy. Now, however, only a few children met the minimum acceptable diet at 20.2%, which is the proxy indicator for both energy and micronutrient adequacy. Unemployment, food security, food accessibility, access to health and nutrition programs for children, including pregnant women, are the major issues during the pandemic in FNRI selected areas. If left unsolved, these may increase the percentage of nutrient deficiencies and undernutrition, resulting to weakening of the immune system, leading to frequent attacks of illnesses, example of which are increasing susceptibility to COVID-19 and other viral infections, which may lead to tremendous high medical costs, lost opportunities, and economic drain. This ends my first lecture. Maraming salamat at magandang gabi sa inyong lahat.